Hi, I'm Trevor.
I'm Tina, and we're from the Bahamas.
We decided to move to Panama 13 years ago. My mother's from Panama, my father's from the Bahamas. We met in the Bahamas. And we came here on vacation, and we loved it so much that we decided to move. And we've been here ever since, and we have no plans on going anywhere else.
No.
We love Panama.
We now consider Panama as our home. I never thought I'd say anywhere else besides the Bahamas, but after coming here, and we go on vacations, and we're driving up that hill, coming back to our house, it's home. It is home.
It was a very easy transition for us to come to Panama. There's a lot of similarities between the Bahamas and the Panamanian government, where everything is like go slow.
Mañana.
Yeah, mañana kind of thing. So we were already used to that. So that didn't really hinder us in any way. Where my mother was born and raised here in Panama, it was an easy transition for myself to move here. Basically, all I had to do was just get my Panamanian cedula, and I was good to go. My mother had registered me here when I was born as a Panamanian born abroad. So that transition, like I said, it was very, very simple. We encountered nice people along the way.
Very nice people.
And I think if you do your research in the beginning, the right people to contact here in Panama before you make that move and you send all of your stuff here, you make those contacts and meet with those people, the transition is going to be a lot easier for you.
It's been a roller coaster of a ride. We started out with a business, which Trevor can tell you more about, but...
So one of my childhood dreams from visiting Boquete every summer when I got out of school was to have a Jeep business or have a Jeep that I could drive to the top of the volcano. Not necessarily open a business, but that was one of my dreams that I wanted to do, was to actually come to Boquete, own a Jeep, and be able to drive to the top of the volcano. When we first came to Panama, we didn't know what we were going to do. We didn't want to retire. Tina's always been doing, sales and marketing and, artwork and stuff like that. And me being in the construction industry and prior military, I was the one that was stumped on what I was going to do. So we decided to buy a Jeep in the States, bring it over here, and let's offer tours to the top of the volcano. And that's how we hit the ground running. And we used our business to pretty much build our home here. After the Jeep business, we closed down all the accounts and the licensing and everything. I've been doing construction since then. It's in the construction industry, it's a little more lapsed. I use the same guys that helped me build my house. I pay them well, so I only call them when I need them. And it's really easy that way. But starting a business, if you're a foreigner, it's not easy. It's doable, and you have to just make sure you have the right type of lawyer who's not going to sit on the paperwork, who's actually going to do, all the groundwork for you.
And patience.
And yeah, you got to have a lot of patience. So the type of business being in construction, I do a lot of roofing. Here in Panama, we have a lot of rain, and you can see on pretty much every home is either metal roofing or there's the old clay tile roofing. The old clay tile roofing needs a lot of work every couple of years. So that's where I make my bread and butter. It's not every day that I work. I can work 1 week here and not have work for 3 months. So, our lifestyle has definitely changed from when we were in the Bahamas and when we first arrived here. We don't go out to dinners. We don't go out to parties. We don't do anything extra. We eat at home, we stay at home, we plan one good vacation per year, and as our money comes in throughout the year, that's what we use to save along the way so that we can have one happy vacation. When we decided we were going to build versus buying a home, because we couldn't really find the exact place that we wanted and in the exact location, so we ended up finding a piece of property, and I started putting out my feelers for guys in construction, welders, masons, carpenters, plumbers, electricians. And I ended up finding a family. It was a dad and his 3 sons. And with those guys, they knew also an electrician and a plumber. So we ended up hiring those guys, and we built our own home. Coming from a construction background, I knew how to build. I could steer and direct the guys that I hired in the right direction. But you have to remember, here is earthquake country. So you need the concrete has to be mixed harder, and you have to use a lot more rebar here. So where you could get away with certain things in North America, with 2x4 stud walls, and hurricane clips, that's not going to pass here. Yeah, it's not going to work.
And with the rains,
with
the drywall,
that's right.
That just does not work.
Drywall here in Panama is no good. You don't want drywall on your home. You want, tongue and groove plastic ceilings, PVC ceilings. You want everything inside concrete and tiled. No carpet, none of that kind of stuff. And it's just because of the humidity here in the rainy season, 6 months. I mean, it takes a toll. Yeah, so if you wanted to build Panamanian style, you can definitely build cheaper. They use a lot of hard concrete and rebar also, but where they skimp at is the finishings, right? So you can go into a home and you're going to basically see the bottom of the sheet metal roofing. You're not going to see a finished inside ceiling. You get what you pay for no matter where you go in the world, right? So if you're going to skimp on construction, that's up to you. But it's possible, just like people skimp on food and skimp on health. You can skimp anywhere you want, but you're going to pay the price in the end. We built also a casita here on our property for Tina's parents that they could come and visit whenever they wanted. And it got to a point after several years, the transition, going back and forth. And then with their age, they decided to just stay here in Panama. And the transition was very, very easy. Yeah. Basically, we just had to get their pensionados, which took maybe a year.
Not even, actually. Yeah. I'll actually jump in on that one because I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
They visited us in the middle of the year, around June or July. And when they were in Panama City before coming to Boquete, the lawyers did all the paperwork. They had their visit here with us in July. And then, of course, they were coming back at Christmas. And before they were coming, they got a notification from the lawyer's office to say, could they stay an extra day in Panama City to actually pick up their pensionados, to pick up their residency. So it was an actual less than 6 month turnaround for them to get their paperwork. I did my paperwork through being married to a Panamanian. So I had a lot more hoops and jumps to go through than them. Actually, it took me almost 3 years. But my parents, they were ready to go in 6 months. So after their Christmas vacation, they were allowed to stay if they wanted.
If you're coming to Panama and you're not ready to retire, then you're going to need to network. Network is going to be the biggest thing. Go out and go to these local markets and talk to some of the local people. So Tina and I are definitely entrepreneurs. Tina, she does great with sales and marketing. She paints. She does Mola canvas bags. She's now getting into the glass.
The stained glass.
The stained glass art. We're doing a lot of different things to bring in a little bit of money from each avenue that we can put in one big basket at the end of the month and buy our food and pay our electricity and save for that vacation at the end of the year. But if you're coming here to retire, all the power to you. There's so much here to do. You have the mountaintops, you have the beaches, you have everything. Panama is an amazing place to explore. Yeah. If you're looking for good food restaurants, Boquete is definitely the place. There's a lot of great places. So there's beautiful places right in the center of Boquete that have the outside dining. They have like the kind of Christmas light kind of theme going on, and live bands and music, and it's a really, really, really nice little town for nightlife. You even have a nightclub, Taboo, Friday nights and Saturday nights. It's amazing dancing and disco, and so there's a lot here to do in Boquete. If you don't have a car to get down to David and stuff like that, there's a lot here to do.
Here in Boquete, it's actually quite easy to find your everyday shopping list items. Fresh eggs, fresh vegetables, meats, very easy to find.
And very good quality.
Yes.
The vegetables
yes.
and the fruits here are amazing.
Phenomenal.
Where we come from in the Bahamas, everything is shipped in. And by the time you get a papaya, let's say a medium size, you're paying $10. Here, $1.25, $1.50. So our eating habits have definitely changed. We're definitely eating a lot more fruits and vegetables than we were in the Bahamas because it just couldn't afford it. And if you could afford it, it was subpar. The quality was just horrible. You know, that apple didn't have that nice crisp snap to it. It had that soggy, you know, kind of taste. Here, it's just, I mean, the food is amazing.
Delicious.
Yeah. Healthcare in Panama is probably one of the best places I've encountered in the entire world. Through all my military career, being through the United States, Japan, deployed many different places, living in the Bahamas, living in the States, now living here in Panama, hands down the best. Maybe I'm lucky, but I have a great internal med doctor, and she has pointed me in the right direction to everywhere I've needed to go. I've had spine surgery here. I've had stents put in my heart. I've got Crohn's disease. I have medical issues. I do have health insurance, which is extremely affordable here. And I'll tell you exactly how much I'm paying. I'm paying $2,000 a year for full coverage. I'm 56 years old with ailments and existing history, okay? That's a drop in the bucket. I was paying $900 per month in the Bahamas for health insurance. So the doctors are here. You just have to be able to find the right ones. And if you get a great health care provider, okay, internal med or family doctor or practitioner or whoever, make sure that you tell them that you want to go to the best cardiologist, you want to go to the best of this, you want to go to the best of that. Here again, do your networking and find out the right avenue. But the health insurance here is very affordable, and the doctor and the healthcare here is absolutely amazing.
But even out of pocket, when you had to go get an x-ray the other day.
The other day I had to do an x-ray, and I went to the local Minsa, which is the local hospital in town for the Panamanians, and it was $20 for an x-ray. I damn near cut the whole top of my thumb off, and it cost me $1.50.
Yeah, I don't even
think it was $1.50, and that was for pain meds that I never took, and for all the stitching and anesthesia and everything that they did. $1.50. So things here are very affordable when it comes to healthcare. So we try to do our part in the community. We give back to a place called Dog Camp, a nonprofit organization that takes in dogs and cats. So we try to do what we can every month for them.
What I do, I paint a lot of different signs that's wording with dogs, and whatever profits I make, I give 10% back to Dog Camp. Or if they need something painted for an event they're doing, I'll paint a sign. I'm not saying I'm the greatest, but I help them out in that way. Or at Christmas time, Christmas ornaments, and I paint little dogs on them or cats. Whatever money they make from that goes straight to them.
I'm part of a motorcycle group. We just finished doing a event party for the kids in a community here in just out of David. It was about 35 kids, and we did piñatas and pizzas and ice cream and cake, and we had a clown. He was doing all the balloons and
face painting.
And so the bike group also tries to help out the community every year. If you are an avid motorcyclist, or if you just want to get into the sport, there's amazing roads here. There's probably 3 or 4 groups of motorcyclists here of all types, whether you want sport bikes, dirt bikes, cruising bikes, super bikes, it doesn't matter. They accept everybody. They're good groups of people, very respectful. The roads here are unbelievable for riding, especially dirt bikes too. The off-roading here is absolutely amazing. So yeah, you got a dirt bike or you got a motorcycle at home, make sure you bring it with you. In my opinion, if you're going to move anywhere in the world, not just Panama, find people online. Go on Facebook or go on Google, where you can talk to people in that community and find out, about healthcare and rental pricing and stuff like that you're interested in before you make the move. I know a lot of people out there, they do the sight unseen, and then they are so horribly upset with themselves when they make that move. If you can afford it, take a vacation.
100%.
Definitely go and visit the place first. You're not going to know unless you're there on the ground and experience it yourself. All you're doing is expecting the words that you're hearing from other people, right? They might have the best experiences where you might not. So go to the place that you're planning on if you can afford it first. Go and go out in the community.
Yeah.
If you have certain hobbies, see if those are available. If you're looking for a certain type of work, network, find out, put your feelers out there and talk to people. Definitely, if you can't afford to visit. But if you can afford to move, you can afford to visit for a couple of weeks or a week or 4 days, just so that you can see what you're getting into.
My suggestion would be to look through Panama, look through all the different towns that interest you. And then once you have those in your sight, then make a vacation, do a family trip, and go visit those places for yourself. Because what some people might say, oh, this is great, to you, it's not. So it's still, in my opinion, boots on the ground. You need to see it firsthand for yourself. Because from what one person might say, oh, this rental house is great, it has this, this, and this. And then you get there and you're like, oh no, this is not what we were thinking. So boots on the ground.
It's like with us, we never thought we were going to move to Panama. I brought Tina here with her parents and 2 of her aunts on a vacation to visit Boquete so that they could see where I spent a lot of my childhood life. Well, everybody loved it. So we visited in September of 2012. We were actually here, moved in May of 2013. We made that happen in that amount of time. Yes, well, we lucked out and got a cash sale for our home in the Bahamas, but I mean, there's other avenues, that can happen also for anybody out there. I mean, just do your due diligence before you move.
Yeah, networking is fantastic. It's a definite, you need to do it, but you also need to do it yourself. You need to physically be here and see for yourself, can you really make this happen?
If you're looking for a really, really laid back, respectful community, easy living, fun living, Panama is definitely the place.
Oh yeah.
I've lived in a lot of different countries. Tina's lived in a couple of different countries also. And hands down, I would not ever move away from Panama.
No.
And it's because of the people, the food, the culture, the healthcare, just the beauty of Panama itself. When you're in the plane and you're landing in David, you just can't fathom the amount of free space that there is with nothing, just trees, rivers, and animals. That's it. If you love nature, this is definitely the place for you.